Yo, yo, is this thing working yet? Check, check. Do. Yo, yo, is this thing working yet? Check, check. All right, we are live. All right, so we were supposed to have Hannibal on, but him and Chad are still talking about mayonnaise and mustard and shit. So oh, but All right, so we're supposed to have Hannibal on, but him and the chat are still talking about mayonnaise and mustard and shit. So. All right, let me know when you guys are in here. Do. What up? We got 5 people in here. Delray Beach, Florida. Hell yeah. Doordash Steve. I'll be in Florida in like 3 weeks now. I'm super stoked to be in there. All right, we got Pedro. Yo, what up, Pedro? Yo, what's up,
what
dude?
Up? Man, he just won't stop.
Bro, I struggle with this live stream stuff.
No, I hear you, man. I can be on for a little bit. I'm gonna start at 9. I do every Sunday at 9 o'clock. So, but yeah, man. What's up? How you been?
Pretty good, dude. I like your shirt. It matches my tattoo.
Yeah, I saw that, man. You got an eagle though this week, right?
Yeah, I got an eagle.
I like it. I
yeah,
like it.
I'm gonna get some wings that go down to my arm, and then I could like make the bird fly and shit.
You gonna do a whole sleeve or what?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
That's what I've been doing. I got to go back to my guy. I see him this coming Saturday to finish this last little spot in the back of my arm, and then once I finish that, I'm gonna do my left whole leg.
Damn.
Like, bottom, like ankle, all the way up to like probably part of my thigh. That's gonna take probably 2 years to do. But
yeah, so you're just missing this back part right here.
Like I have a little space here. I have this eye. I have a little bit of, so we're gonna do that. He's gonna fill in. I'll probably only be there a couple hours, but that'll be it. So yeah.
Nice. Damn, you got a bunch of tattoos. I got a big ass one on my back that no one sees, but
I'm all over the place. They become addicted, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, I know. I hated them at first because my first one kind of like it was just like a bad experience. And then like I got my line, I was like, damn, this shit came out badass. I'm gonna get some more shit.
Yeah, yeah. And the line's tough because like I've seen some bad lines. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta make sure you go to a person because yours looks good, but I've seen some bad ones that look like cartoonish or like, you know. Yeah. So.
That was what my tattoo artist was telling me. It was like, yeah, you came in for a lion. That's like the hardest thing to tattoo is because of all the fur and stuff. And like, I didn't realize how hard it was, but all the tattoo artists I've talked to have said, yeah, lions are the worst. And they're like the most popular too.
You got to find somebody who knows how to do it and wants to. Cause sometimes you go to some guys and girls are like, I'm not doing that because it's not my thing, you know? So,
yeah.
Is Hannibal going to come on tonight, you think?
Dude, I like checked out their live stream and they were talking about like mayonnaise and mustard and shit for like 30 minutes. And I was like, what the hell are they doing? Like, people don't want to see you guys talk about mayonnaise and mustard.
Yeah. I mean, usually when I on Sundays, I get about between 120, 150 or 60 people in there. And I'm open lines tonight. So I expect there to be a little bit of traffic, hopefully tonight. We'll see. I usually go an hour, sometimes between an hour and a half. So I go for a little long. So, but.
Damn, and you just talk to yourself or what?
No, I talk to the people in the chat. I usually talk about like, how was your week and gig week? I talk about my week, and then we talk about what's going on in the chat, and we just it's very freestylish, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we talk about the week. That's how it starts, and like DoorDash news a little bit. But this week I'm gonna open the lines up. So I got a phone here. I'm gonna open the lines up and get some people to call in and, hey, what's going on? What do you want to talk about? What's going on in your week? And then I'm gonna see how that goes. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. If I call me and they're crazy, I'll just hang up. But dude, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. So
that's crazy. I saw UDM did that last week too. He had people calling in and stuff. Yeah, are you actually giving your phone number?
Yeah. So I have like multiple phones. Okay. I have multiple phones. So the number that's on there is like a line just for this. It's not my regular phone. So I'm not, if somebody calls and they're being crazy, I'll just block them or whatever. I'm not too worried about it. It's not a phone for anything else. You know what I'm saying? So,
damn.
Yeah.
Dude, I had someone trying to hack into my account today. I don't know if you saw my video, but someone was trying to hack into my account and I kept getting these verification codes sent to me. And I was like, what is, my DoorDash account.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, dude. Like 4:00 in the morning, I'm getting verification codes sent to me. So I was like, I didn't wake up, obviously. And then like I wake up in the morning and I see all these 650 numbers, but my phone blocks them because I have this robo killer thing. Yeah. So someone was trying to call and pretend they were DoorDash and get verification codes sent to my phone.
You know what? Had somebody on a video I did yesterday put in the comments about the verification thing. And I said, I don't know. I've never seen that. So you're not the only one, man. I had a couple people mention that to me just yesterday. That's nuts, man.
Yeah. I think I messed up though, because I posted this like screenshot of this event that I'm going to, and it had my email in it. So I just gave someone like part of my info and all they need is the password now. But if they're trying to switch my password, then they'll just get verification codes. Now they're calling me trying to like be like, hey, what's that verification code that we sent you?
See, you know what? And there are people, I get scam calls a lot, Tanner. I used to get them like, I don't know if it's because it's my name, and I'd get them from like a fake IRS, and they'd be like, oh, we're going to arrest you at your job if you don't pay us this money because you have, maybe they thought it was illegal or something. I don't know. But like, there are people that sit in offices, man, and all they got to do is get a couple hundred people a day in the entire world, and that's how they make their money. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude, crazy. I got one of those one time, and I was way younger. I was probably like 22 or 23, and I was just driving up PCH, and someone calls me and was like, yeah, we're going to come arrest you right now. And I was like, I pulled over. I was like, what? What do you mean you're going to come arrest me? I swear I paid my bill last month or last year. And they were so convincing. And I was like, okay, wait, why are you British though? I can like sense that there's something weird going on. And I called my dad and he was like, oh, fuck those guys. Like he told me, it was like, they call all the time. I was like, damn, that was my first time that ever happened to me.
Yeah. But I get the seem like they're like in India maybe or something, I'm like a DoorDash representative kind of. But yeah, man. And then I got this other phone to dash with, and then that number, nobody has that number, right? Nobody has. Use it for anything but running the Dash app, right? And I get calls, and it's like scam. It's wild, man. I mean, some people just don't know how to like just make money on their own. They gotta like take advantage of people. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. Crazy. Crazy.
I know. That's how I feel about pyramid schemes and shit. Man, I've had some friends. You ever have friends in pyramid schemes and they call you and they're like, hey, you got to join this business. Hannibal's in here. They're like, yeah, you got to join this business. And I'm like, what do you mean? What business do I got to join? And they're like, oh, you can have your own business and everything. I'm like, oh man, you're in a pyramid scheme, bro. You got to get out. They're like, no, it's not a pyramid. They told me it wasn't a pyramid.
You see that episode of The Office?
Yeah.
Like there's an episode of The Office, the show, and like Steve Carell's like talking about something, and then the Jim character walks up to the whiteboard and like draws a pyramid over the things that Steve talked about. It's hilarious. You got to check it out if you got.
Dude, hey, what's up, Hannibal?
What's going on, fellas?
Hannibal.
All right, I didn't want to interrupt the conversation because I don't know what you guys were talking about.
We just
pyramid schemes.
Pedro says something. All right, Tan, let me just ask your opinion. Does ketchup belong? Hold on, Pedro, hold on. Does ketchup belong on a hot dog?
Yeah, it does.
All right,
I would prefer not though.
It's fine. Pedro's like, it don't ever belong on a hot dog ever. And I was like, I thought we were friends.
Great. A hot dog snob. I don't care.
Yeah,
I feel you. Eat hot dogs, so like I wouldn't really know, but I don't. I wouldn't put ketchup on it though.
I don't eat hot dogs either, but when I was eating hot dogs in Chicago, man, like you don't put. It's like a thing. There's restaurants in Chicago, not restaurants, but little bodegas, and there are signs that say, "We don't have ketchup. Don't even ask." Okay, it's a thing.
I forgot you from Chicago. You guys take food seriously over there. Y'all take, especially your meats. You guys take your meats. There's so many hot dog restaurants in Chicago. I gotta go. I'm a hot dog fan, so I know you guys take it a little seriously. It's kind of like pizza, but it's like pizza. I'll eat any kind of pizza. I'm a pizza slut. I'll eat Domino's. I don't care. Yeah, I know there's good pizza there, but
anchovies.
I love pizza.
I'll eat it. I'm gonna mess with it a little bit. Yeah, anchovies is fine.
So you and Chad were talking about mayonnaise and mustard for like 30 minutes or so.
It did went a little longer. we can. That's what a cool thing talking to, like, especially even Pedro. We can talk, get in one topic and go for a long time. So I think that's where it went with.
Yeah, because I like. People were commenting like, oh, Hannibal's still in Chad's live stream. So I was like, oh, let me go check it out. I'm like, the hell, they're talking about like mayonnaise and mustard and shit. So I like ended it. And I like went through this whole process of like trying to redo my audio, restarted my computer, everything. And I'm like, okay, let me go see what they're talking about now. You guys are still on like ketchup and mustard and shit. I was like, is this what this live stream's about?
Oh, that's not. No, it's not.
It wasn't, but that was a long segment. I enjoyed this segment because then it told me what Pedro thinks about me, about ketchup and hot dogs. So now I know if I go hang out with him, like, all right, get that mustard.
So when we go in the gig conference, I'm gonna get you some hot dogs, and ain't gonna be no ketchup around. You gonna eat it.
Oh, you know what? We should talk about that while we have Pedro in here, because he's only gonna be on for like another 15 minutes or so. Let's talk about the gig conference.
Let's go talk about it.
So Vegas, right?
Maybe TBD.
All right, let me explain my reasoning for Vegas. One, hotels are cheap as hell. There's no other place where you can get hotels as cheap as Vegas. I know a lot of people think, oh, that's where you go and spend a bunch of money. It's actually, if you do it right, this is the cheapest place to travel to. It has the cheapest airline flights to and from any other city in the entire country. The whole entire city is built for conferences and stuff like that. Like I'm going to actually a conference tomorrow, and like the whole city is based around that kind of stuff. You can rent cars here for cheap. Like everything here in Vegas is super cheap. As long as you don't go to the clubs or like nightlife and that kind of stuff, you're going to spend way less money. And everything here is cheap. Gas, like renting places. We could even do the gig conference in my friend's warehouse. So,
well, that was question is, do you think during, let's say, end of July, there's going to be a space we could rent out in Vegas, or are there too many things going on?
Well, it depends on how many guests we have, but if we did it in my friend's warehouse, then that's pretty much any time of the year we could do that.
Interesting.
It's in his backyard, but he has this giant warehouse. So
you got to explore that option. I mean, if I'm being 100% transparent, I think I'm leaning towards somewhere more central, like this. But that's just me being honest. I don't know. I can control things here. I could get free food. I can get good venues. I can get hotels, decent ones, probably at 60 to 70 bucks a pop, which is cheap. And we'll see. I don't know. I want to make this about the community. We'll do some lives. I think what we're doing here and getting some other content creators talking about this on a StreamYard or like a live on somebody's channel. We'll do that in the next couple months and get, I want to get the community's opinion. I want to put some feelers out there because this is going to happen. Like whether there's 20 people or 200 or however many, we're going to put this together. So once it gets closer towards, after Christmas and people are like finalizing the holiday and getting through that, and we get into like, all right, now I paid some of my bills from Christmas, and now it's coming up on spring. I think that's where we'll get more traction, but it's definitely going to be a thing, 100%.
Yeah. You want to do in the middle of summer though?
No, I think doing it after summer, after graduations and parties, and then also doing it before kids go back to school. I think that makes sense because I think that it's slow a little bit. People aren't going to be afraid to take a few days off that are gigging because we're going to be gig people there, right? And also it could be to where if it gets popular enough, people are like, okay, you know what? Let's do our summer trip for this conference and spend 4 or 5 days. And St. Louis is a great place for that. Oh, it's a great place for cheap. There's good places to eat. There's free things to do. There's a lot of entertainment still, actually. So that's why I think, me and Hannah were talking like this past week. I think towards the end of July might be a good time, but
is August the slowest month for delivery? Like we need to talk to someone who actually did deliveries and grow, gig work, not just a 1 year like me, but like, 2019, like is August the slowest? So maybe like you said, August and a July where things are slow anyway. So you have some room to go out and do something for a couple of days and come back. So that's my thoughts too. I'm not sure of any other time of the year where people would want to come out like it's cold, like go winter. Like, nah, probably
well,
not.
you don't want to come to Vegas in the summer. That's for sure. Like you don't go outside in Vegas.
Yeah, it's 1,000 degrees.
So, it depends on what type of year. Like I would suggest April. I think April's like the best time to do it.
In Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas or like, I don't know. I feel like most of the big conferences are in April for whether it's fitness, business, like any of the conferences I've gone to, they're usually in like April, I would say.
Which one you're going to? Sorry, but which one? You said you were going to one in a few days, right, Tanner? You said you was going to.
I'm going to 2 of them, and tomorrow I'm going to. It's a business one. It's for like entrepreneurs and stuff, and then I'm also going to the one in Florida in like 3 weeks, and that's also more business stuff. It's for like it's like a CEO like boot camp, basically.
Oh,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, we're just trying to figure out what. We never put a conference together before, right? So like
I actually have done that before though. So I think that's why I think April would be like ideal because I did the outdoor toy convention and stuff when I worked for Razer. We would put all the conferences and stuff together because Razer's like the biggest corporation and stuff. So I've actually like done all this stuff a little bit before. Okay. And it just depends. Everything is always in Vegas. Like there's a reason why you do them in Vegas because you have all the convention rooms and stuff here and they're always significantly cheaper. So like, it depends if you could find one in St. Louis and like, they're usually done at hotels. So that's why Vegas is like the prime spot because all the hotels have their own conference rooms and stuff. They have multiple. So like if you're doing a small one or something, they have small venues. You could go to like the MGM or something. But almost every conference I've been to, it's always in Vegas, sometimes LA, or it's like New York or Florida.
No, it's definitely going to be in a hotel for sure. I don't know. I like this kind of conversation because, we can evolve into different things. One day I think, okay, maybe it should be here, but it's definitely it's going to happen regardless. But I want to see, some of these conferences you're talking about, I think, are really big ones, right? This one, who knows? So we might not need the Vegas or the LA or the New York, right? Plus, our audience they're regular folks like us. Like, maybe we got to make it sure it's affordable. I want to make sure it's achievable and like affordable for the people that want to come. St. Louis is a great place for that.
Yeah.
I think we got to have a lot more conversations like this, and then it'll just kind of grow from there. It's kind of where I'm going with it. And I've talked to like Kim's Side Money Plans, Doordash Dad, a few other people, and they said they'd be down to like, speak and be a part of it and would come, and trying to get some other speakers, some entertainment, some fun things to do. I think it's going to be good. I think it could be really great if we get a good amount of people, even if it's just a couple hundred, a solid little time. So it's going to be fun.
Is there a lot of people that do gig stuff up in your area?
What do you mean?
Like, when you see like, because I like probably like once every 2 weeks, I'll ask where's everyone from and stuff. And my general audience, of course, probably because I'm from Vegas, it comes from Vegas or LA. Where would you say are the most amount of people that follow you?
I think it's super mid. It's all over the place, man. Yeah, I think a lot of the gig tubers seem to be in Florida, if we, in the East Coast. But like, as far as like subscribers, spread out very, very much from what I've seen. But that's a small pool, But
yeah, Florida is huge for some reason. There's a lot of gig tuber people there.
Yeah,
a lot of shoppers like the Instacart and all that type of stuff. I would say, do not come to New York. I'm here. Do not.
You don't have to convince me. I won't go to New York. You have to pay me money to go to that state.
You gotta show papers to walk into a building. You don't want to. No, it's not. It's expensive and it's high crime. It's like, all right, pick a battle. Like, all right, the pizza's good. There's some food here, but like everything's expensive and you may get robbed. It's like, I already told Pedro, I'm willing to travel wherever.
Are we doing it? Even if it's only a few people, me and Hannibal will just go out and we'll get drunk and talk about.
Yeah, we'll just be chilling.
We'll figure it out. Like, it don't matter. We're going to time, so it's going to be what it is. So.
Yeah. I mean, no matter where it is, I will find the time and I'll show up for sure, and I'll ramble to everyone about creating passive income and multiple streams of income and why you should go to the gym and stuff. I will.
If you're gonna sell shoes, do it in the parking lot in the back of the car.
But he's not selling that. He's just talking. Unless you're selling a program.
Yeah. I don't know. So, okay, here's one thing though. If we were to do it in like January or something, I actually have shows in Chicago for November, December. If we did it like January, February, March, April or so, and it was in St. Louis, which I think is kind of close to Chicago, is it?
5 hours, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty close compared to Vegas or so. I'll just drop off all of my stage equipment and everything. We got speakers and everything. And boom, we do it in St. Louis.
It ain't happening in January.
No, too cold? Too cold for that.
Well, it's too close. This is going to take a little more time, I think, to make
it. Yeah, that's true.
Or like maybe a way that we can have like a mini meetup, like where we can actually
a tester is a good idea, actually.
Yeah, like the real dedicated people show up just for a day or two, and then maybe as we're there, plan the bigger event. What do you think? That's a good idea.
I mean, I could be a bit, yeah, man. I mean,
actually, no, that's a super good idea because I throw tramp ball contests, and if it wasn't for the first one that I threw in my backyard, I would have no idea like all the problems I was going to run into and stuff. So actually having a smaller tester one is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't know what problems you're going to run into until you run into them. Like, oh shit, we didn't get enough portal potties or like that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, but wintertime, I think people are trying to make money then. They're trying to make money right after Christmas because they just spent money. So I really feel like it's got to be in the slow time of summer. I think that's where we'll get the most interest and most people will be willing to travel then because they can take a few days and not feel like, okay, I'm missing out on a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick, for those of you who are watching, can you guys comment in the chat? Where do you guys live? Let us know. Cause I see one from Vegas, East Coast, Hudson Valley, New York. Hannibal, where are you from? Brooklyn or something?
Yeah, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, New York, born and raised.
You probably pay like what, $4,000 for that little that you're chilling in right now.
Oh, it's an apartment building. I have access to the basement, so I'm actually don't live in here. But yeah, I have a 2-bedroom apartment. I only pay $1,100. But that's extremely rare. That's not, and I live in a high crime area, so I'm dodging bullets when I leave the house, stuff like that. But it's not that bad. Could be, but your average rent's probably $3,000. But since everyone's leaving New York to go to Texas, to go to Florida. Like I have friends who've already left, so people are really trying. Landlords are trying their best to get people, so you can get really good deals. Like I have a friend, walk her dog 5 days a week, and she got a really nice apartment. 24/7 doorman service, a gym, there's an entertainment center, something she probably wasn't able to afford 2 years ago, but they're so desperate to get people into these apartments. You get like great deals. So, but still don't come here though. Don't. Not until a new mayor shows up.
Yeah, so I'm looking in this chat. We got, it's just so random: Virginia, Ohio, New Jersey, Oregon, Philly, Indiana, Wisconsin, Kentucky.
All over.
Not even a single double in there, actually. So
all over. I'm telling
you. What's in the center of the country? Do Oklahoma.
But yeah, we're gonna figure it out. It's a thing. It's going to happen. Whether said 2 people there or 20, if you had to guess how many people would show up, what your guess would be? Like most like realistic 50. Guess 50.
I think realistically there will be at least 100 people there.
Yeah,
I do. Yes,
I got it. This is how we sell the event. We get David from the Para app to have a celebrity boxing match with Tony Zhu. The whole thing is sold, dude. Every DoorDasher will show up there.
Who would win that fight?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give it to Tony.
I'd probably give it to Tony too. He looks like he works out.
Yeah.
All right, so Tanner's he's gonna take care of entertainment. It seems like that's where he's gonna jump in. He's gonna do entertainment.
Yeah, it depends on where it is though, because if I gotta drive like halfway across country, it's gonna cost me a lot of money to like put on the entertainment.
You're not flying? You gonna drive? If it's
I would drive. It depends though, because if it's in the middle of the summer, I'm almost always performing in the middle of the summer.
Right.
So I don't know where I'll be performing at the time, so it really depends on what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
And how many days it's going to be and stuff. But we will want to like start looking for sponsorships and stuff like starting sooner than later. That's probably the most important thing, to get like sponsorships locked down. And of course we have like the 5 biggest companies in the world right now: DoorDash, Lyft, Uber, Grubhub. We can get hopefully some of them to have like their own booth or something set up. And usually when you charge around like $15,000 for a booth or something. So that's why it also depends on like where you're having the event. Because if you're charging like 15, like when I worked for Razer, when we were setting up booths and stuff, we were charging $25,000, and that's just for like what looks like your like bedroom you're chilling in, Hannibal. So
yeah.
So
I guess it could get real. I'm not saying complicated, but there's a lot of different irons in the fire that you have to kind of figure out. Yeah. So it's good to be talking to you because you have experience, and none of us really had that kind of experience yet. So I'm excited. We're gonna put this together.
Yeah, I think a tester would be a good idea though. Like I could even do a small tester event in Las Vegas, like in like 5 months or so. And that way we can figure out all the kinks and stuff to do it 6 months later.
You saying you're doing it in April, right? I mean, would your tester be in April?
Yeah, probably April would be ideal or so.
Mm.
But then we would want to push the big one back 6 months after that or something. You don't want to do them too close to each other.
Right.
And
yeah.
how many think we could get if this is playing correctly? I said at least 100. What's your feeling?
I think 100 is a real like honest, kind of like realistic, but it can go even higher than that. It really depends on the value that we're going to put out there. So like you should come here because we're going to be able to do this, A, B, and C. If you're able to promote that value to people, that and just again, it's a lot of people are going to be people that we talk to us in the chat and talk to us, at other places talking about gig work. The real dedicated people, right? No fly-by-nighters are going to show up anyway. So, yeah, I think 200 would be if a 200 people showed up, I think it would be a success.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. For this kind of thing where is there any kind of gig conference ever, like any kind of meet group? Like I haven't seen anything.
I know, man.
Yeah,
I thought about cars. I was making a video one day and just talked about it, and then now this is where we're at. So I had never heard of it before, but that is.
Yeah. So if we did a like probably 2-day event, like a tester in Las Vegas, charged everyone $50 each, and maybe bring like some kind of entertainment so they at least get some kind of value other than like seeing the speakers and stuff. Yeah. We got 200 people to show up at $50 each. That's $10,000. So that covers at least rental for like wherever we're going. And also for like the bigger event, what you want is actually like promo footage. So you want people to actually like film the event and stuff. So that way you're selling it to like the sponsors and stuff. So that way when you're telling like DoorDash, hey, you guys should give us 10 grand to have a booth here. You're showing them the footage. That way you're like, hey, like we're trying to sell you on this. This is the event we're going to have. It can look like this, but much bigger. And that promo footage is like really crucial, because otherwise if you're trying to get people to sponsor an event, they're like, oh, this is your first time doing it. Like you've never done this before. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, especially for like someone who owns a brand, a lot of people try to get money from me to like promote their events and kind of stuff. And especially when it's the first time they've ever done, I'm like, no, if I don't have video footage of like what your event looks like, I can't like give you money for that,
Pedro, we talked about it and we were trying to figure out, should we charge for the event? But you're saying to maximize the event, you're going to have to charge people just to cover the expenses of, like I said, if you're trying to rent out certain things, that the cost will come somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you either get it from sponsorships, which is obviously your first place you go to, is try to get from the companies because they're making money back on promoting their services. Right. So for example, like a company like DoorDash and Uber and those kind of things. So if I'm those companies, I want to promote my company to customers. So you also have to bring in customers and stuff. So how do you bring in customers and drivers? Those are the two people that those companies are trying to promote to, people who either use it or make a living off of it.
Right. Yes, a lot to take in, huh, Pedro?
It's interesting. I think Tanner's thinking of it differently than I am, but I like that. So because I'm my brain's on fire right now, and it's a good thing. So I think
the logistics guy.
Yeah. No, I'm an idea guy by heart. And then I feel like I need other people to help me with like the actual execution of things. I'm an idea guy, and like I'm a high energy kind of like, all right, if you just give me 200 people in a room, we're going to have a good time. That's me. But I need people to help me out with, okay, I've done this before. So let's think about this, let's think about that. Now I could piece some things together and, but I'm not trying to charge. I want this to be the first time to be a very organic, chill kind of thing with some prizes and some events and speakers and stuff and meet and greets, but not charging people. So I'm not against that. But at first, that's not where my mind went. But hey, I'm going to hop off because I'm about to go live in like 30 seconds. So,
all right, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Listen, you guys are awesome. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
all right, later.
All right, see ya.
That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So what else are we going to talk about today? So what's your favorite condiment?
I'm not going to get into it. Damn it. But yeah, like I'm a child, so I guess ketchup is still up there. But yeah, probably as an adult, you probably shouldn't do that. But
Let's stay away from that topic.
yeah, we'll take away off topic. I forgot the original reason. Is yeah, because like every Sunday we me and Chad talk about some of the news of the week. But you do that every day. Like you talk about the news stories every day. And I'm a fan of your work. I'm a fan of your videos. I think I started watching you very early. I don't even know how it came, like which other YouTuber I was watching, but I saw yours and I realized that you were posting every day. And a lot of your philosophy on gig work, I'm totally with. Like the idea that it's a tool to make money. It's not the end all be all. And I feel like a lot of other people are, which is fine. Like whatever you make your money, that's your thing. But I like the fact that it's about making money and then how like you're entertainer, like you're an athlete, you're like you gig working and you're a YouTuber, then you know your sneakers behind you, like you're a businessman. So like what you do is what I aspire to do is like in terms of put like having different kinds of situations going on where you're making money. Like right now it's taking care of dogs and I could do gig work and YouTube, like I'm monetized now. So it's like, I like, your philosophy on things. So it's cool to talk to you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like came from obviously like a very unique like career of making a living off of extreme sports. And then I got onto the business side of things in like 2013 or so. From 2013 to about 2016, I worked for corporate at Razor, and I was like in charge of the live events, the tours and like sponsorships and stuff that we would bring in, all the pro athletes and just like athlete sponsorships and endorsements and stuff. That was basically my job when I worked for Razor, and social media, of course.
Yeah.
And then eventually I switched over, like I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that like opened my mind. And I was like, wow, like if I'm just working this corporate job, I'm probably never going to really make a lot of money. And I'm never going to really have the freedom that I actually want to, because someone's always going to be on top of me. So I moved to Las Vegas, and then I started my footwear company and my entertainment show. And I was like, how am I supposed to make money if I'm like working a 9 to 5 in the day? And like originally I was working this 9 to 5, and I was like, okay, this takes like, I'm never going to get any of my work done if I'm working for someone else for the majority of the beginning of the day. And my friend was like, why don't you do Postmates? And I was like, what is Postmates? And this is like 2017, like right at the beginning.
Oh, it's early.
I was like, so you just drive around? Like this was like my dream job, was just drive around in my car and like smoke weed all day. And like, like that was, I was like, I always wanted to be a driver, and they hired me like within like 48 hours. And next thing you know, I'm like delivering food. And I was like, this is like the perfect way to make money. Yeah. So I always thought of it as a tool to like make just enough money to get by. Because especially on Postmates, I never made more than 70 to $100 a day. I think there was one time where I cracked $100 in a day, and I was driving full time for Postmates. Like I think I did like 10 hours and I made $100, and I was like so happy. Yeah. But for me, I was always like, okay, like I'm obviously not going to make very much money off of this. It wasn't DoorDash like it is now, like you can make way more on DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grubhub than Postmates back in the day. So I never treated it as like a full-time job, but that's how it always was for me. It was just a tool to make enough money to get by so I could fund my businesses. And like, I knew that like for footwear, especially, is like an extremely high price to even just get started. Yeah. So I was like, how do I make enough money to get by so this footwear company can reinvest its money back into itself? Because if I pull any money out of this thing, it's not going to make any money.
Yeah. And I guess what I think a lot of us are getting frustrated with, because we got in, because I did Rover from 2018, but it was always a part-time job. Like I had a real job taking care of dogs, but at home I was able to take care of clients and people, customers around the neighborhood, and take care of, their dogs. So it was never really a point of me thinking I could do this full time as gig work until the pandemic hit, got fired. And then, got fired February of 2020. And then March, because I'm thinking I got fired, no problem. I'll just figure something out. I'll get things together. And then COVID hit, and I'm in New York. They shut everything down. You couldn't move. You couldn't leave the house. So it
Sorry,
got
wait,
to
I'm laughing so hard because this thing is going through my head. Can you imagine multi-apping, but you're multi-apping like Rover and like cats and shit.
no, you
And you're
cannot be
like
done that.
filming your DoorDash and you're like, sorry guys, I'm multi-apping. I got a dog and a parrot in the back of my car right now. Multi-apping all these little other apps.
It blows my mind when I see people pick up orders with dogs in the car. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I understand the therapy dogs, but at the same time, like, I've been around dogs. Dogs are disgusting. They're gross. They smell, and then you're just teasing a dog all day, bringing in food that he can't eat, she can't eat. Like, what kind of life is that for a dog? Like, I like Rover because you can set your own prices. It's kind of like I see different types of independent contractor. Like, okay, DoorDash, Grubhub, you just do the job. You don't really control much of anything. You get the food and you give it to the client. Then you got like the second part of it where like Rover, care.com, those kind of things where you can set your prices. You have a little bit more control. You can actually advertise, yourself. Like, hey, here's my page. You can sign up and it'll go, the money goes to me. Then I guess the next one is not really independent contractor, it's a business person. Like, you are in charge of everything, the marketing, the pricing, the labor. Like, so someone, I forgot who put this out there. There was like, is independent contractors are business people? And I think the person was like, no, they're not. It's not a business. I can go both sides on it. I still think it is a business because you're still using your car, you're still using your labor, but it's like the entry level of a business. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, no, I would say it is the entry. It's the best way to like get your toes in the water, because I always tell people like the hardest when people are, so many people ask me like, how did you get your business started? And I'm like, well, you have to just jump in, if you don't just commit towards something. And the first thing I committed towards was a foot or a clothing line. And like, it epically failed. We didn't sell a single piece of clothing. But after I was done with that, I understood how to set up a website, get my sales permit, and all those other things that come involved with that. So either way, even if you lose, you still learn. You lose, you learn either way. So the best way to be in business is to get into business. And the easy business to get into is technically like delivery driving. And that's where you'll actually understand a lot about yourself. Like, am I the person who's going to go out there and actually do the work? Or do I need someone to actually tell me like, this is your hours? And if I don't have to do those hours, then you don't. Because I've told so many people like, hey, this is where, like, these are the hours you need to work. And a lot, even like my roommates and stuff, they're all signed up on DoorDash and they're like, I need to make enough money for rent. And I'm like, you guys are signed up on DoorDash. I solely worked for DoorDash and I was making $2,000 a month. What's the problem here?
Yeah.
And their thing is they just can't get out and go, but none of them are entrepreneurs and none of them have that drive to actually go out and do it. And like, you learn it on YouTube, if you're not willing to put in those free hours at the beginning where you're not getting paid. Like for me, I didn't get paid a single dollar for the first 3 years that I did YouTube. Same thing with the footwear company and the stunt show, like everything takes time and you have to put in those free hours, let alone on DoorDash, you're getting paid for everything, but it's hard to actually go put yourself out there. If you don't have that ethic to actually just get out there and start doing it. Like most of my friends, I would say, had the mentality of like, yeah, but last time I did this, I only made like $7 and it wasn't really worth it.
Yeah. So that's a good point you brought up, because I think right now with the summer slowdown, like everyone is just really frustrated. And I guess it's opening up a lot of eyes of, do you really want to do this? Because I look at people like UDM and Gig Life, where they have like, I don't know how many apps they have. They have like maybe 30. And it's showing like, this is how it really, if you really want to do this, you got to put in an effort, where we were all spoiled last year with DoorDash, just one app. And I think a lot of people just they don't want to, change is hard, right? And especially lack of consistency. Like if you made a lot of money on Monday and Tuesday, it sucks. It at least even me being honest, like it will fuck me up. Like, damn, I only made this much. What am I doing? And you start questioning everything. See, even with a YouTube channel, like you put a video up and it makes like 5 views. You're like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And like you said, most people kind of stop. Like they're like, I'm just gonna move on and do more, do something else. But but the problem is too, like DoorDash sucks too. Like, so like, is DoorDash gonna get worse than this?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
It is.
Is it too much of us doing DoorDash, and should most of us just go back to a W-2? Like I think yes, I think most people should just go, eventually. They don't want to do it now because you're able to, you get money. Some people are getting paid to stay home. But eventually those jobs, what was it, 9 million jobs open? I forgot. It was some like ridiculous amount. They're gonna get filled up eventually. And I think DoorDash may get a little better. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think I always tell people if you're only doing DoorDash, you might as well go back to a W-2 because a lot of people don't realize, especially with inflation like going up like crazy lately, with the gas prices and everything is going up in price. Like I always tell people, hey, there's an escalator and you're running up the escalator to go in the opposite direction. When you're running up and it's going down, that's what DoorDash is for you. And a lot of people don't realize that escalator's been going a lot quicker lately because of gas prices and inflation and everything. Like cost of living is going up. Rent has gone up like 20% for like on average for the whole entire country recently. So like little things like this are adding onto that escalator that's going quicker and quicker. And if you're just doing one income, and I hate to say it, but this income doesn't value you at all because the next person, anyone can do this job. So when there's a job that literally anyone can do, and this is your only source of income, it should be a warning sign for you. Like, hey, they're paying you less and less because literally anyone can do this job. You're not special. They don't need you. If you stopped working, that's why I was telling people on that strike, July 31st, if you stop working, it's not going to affect their overhead. All they're going to do is just have more people log in, you can't really strike against a job that literally anyone in the world can pretty much do. If you're over 18, you can drop off a DoorDash order.
I feel like what you're saying, a lot of more business minded. It's not insulting to anyone who's not business minded. You have to grow into it, right? Like like I said, you started doing a clothing line, you jumped in, you learned these type of things, where most people still have the idea of being an employee. Because with DoorDash, the strike and the day arrest, it was trying to make change. But I guess the question is, are we wasting our time trying to change the company rather than just either if it's not working, leave? Because that's what, UDM is like, well, if this app doesn't work, get another app. Get another app. Don't use that app. It's not working for you. Or be more resourceful. But I think many of us we're spoiled. We're just spoiled because what happened last year, that we don't want to change. We don't want to put anything effort. We want DoorDash to work. And DoorDash not to give us $2 base pay. And it just seems like we're wasting our time with activism where we should just be trying to figure out another way.
Yeah. So as an independent contractor, you can't really strike. It doesn't really mean anything because you're on business. You can't really tell the next person, hey, don't run your business today. And they're like, hey, I need to run my business today. Like, fuck you. But going back to like getting started in business and stuff, like I think you don't even need to just do multi-apping kind of things. I think you need to really have like multiple sources that are like different categories. You want to be in different verticals and stuff. And that's why I've like put footwear. No one is ever going to not need footwear. Like live entertainment, obviously we saw last year, we didn't do a single show for like 16 months. And then YouTube, people are always going to be able to watch YouTube unless the internet goes out or something, and then delivery drive, and that's my fourth avenue, so that's totally diverse. And I think other people need to do other things and make it as diverse as possible, because if all your eggs are in one basket and someone tosses that basket, well, they're all going to break, and then you're stuck carrying this basket of broken eggs.
I have a question. When you first tried to do the clothing line, you said it failed. Why did you think it failed?
Because for one, I didn't know anything about marketing at the time, even though I was marketing for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Like I didn't know about beginning marketing my own company. So I didn't understand where I should put my money and stuff. Two, the product sucked really bad. I was just buying clothes and slapping my logo on it. Like I do this now that I don't obviously make these t-shirts myself, but there's so much marketing going behind my footwear company that people actually buy the shirts now. And I didn't realize, like, if you don't have a unique brand, people aren't going to buy your stuff. And for me, like, I'm the brand of acrobatics that's like the street acrobatics, it's off axis, which is technically incorrect in gymnastics. Like if you do something off axis in gymnastics, you get deducted a point. But my whole thing about gymnastics is there's this rule set where everyone has to follow these rules. And if you go outside these rules and you do it differently, you get deducted points. And my whole thing is there's no right or wrong way to do anything. Sometimes you might just be a little off axis. And it's not bad to be different than someone else.
Right.
It's different, so it's more like art versus like taking a test. Gymnastics is taking a test. I treat it as an art form.
Okay. That's what's up.
That's what made us unique. And the people who like felt for that and were like more of like, for example, I come from the skate park. There's no technique involved in anything we do. It's like I've never had a coach my whole life, any of that stuff. So I came from that background where I was like, everyone's unique, no one has the same kind of training or everything. You just figure it out on your own. So that's where I came from, and off axis was like the perfect name for me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess that idea, the branding. So the branding and the marketing seems like the most. I mean, yeah, you want a good product, but the branding and marketing takes the most of. I mean, that's what DoorDash do, right? In terms of just throwing millions and millions of dollars on all these advertisements with in the NFL and the NBA and all these like that's why a lot of us complain about pay. Is like, man, they spending a lot of money on other things, but they know where the money is really going to. That's why they're looking to buy other gig app platforms and stuff like that. So they know where they're putting their money, and that's why I think like Grubhub sucks. I'm actually another question. This is an interview. I'm sorry, I'm not interviewing you. All right. I just want to ask a question. You only use DoorDash?
Yeah. I had Postmates for a while, but obviously haven't done that in like 2 years or so.
Yeah. Have you ever tried other stuff?
No, they won't hire me. I had a reckless driving ticket when I was about 6 years ago or so. And Uber Eats and Grubhub wouldn't hire me because I applied for them back when I had that reckless driving ticket on my record. So they kind of have that red flag, and I applied for DoorDash way after it was off my record, because this is like 6-7 years ago now. So DoorDash actually had no idea I ever had that ticket, so they hired me right away. And when I go to try to get on an Uber Eats or Grubhub or something, they won't hire me.
Oh, okay.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, I was like, why I don't see doing some Instacart shopping with Tanner. You going into a grocery store picking up stuff. But I see,
I tried Instacart, but I hate shopping for groceries. I'm like super
for yourself
lazy.
Or anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I only do it now for like for the content of the vlog and to try to make money to and from the gym. But other than that, like I don't really do any DoorDash at all. Unless you see me filming it, I'm probably not doing it.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't done DoorDash because the dog stuff is just, it's taking all my time and it's making me good money. So I don't necessarily have to do DoorDash, but I'll be honest. The last time I really did DoorDash is when Para was around. And I don't know, like I didn't put in my head, well, Para went down, I'm not going to dash anymore. It just like, all right, things are slow and I can't figure out how much I'm getting paid. All right, I'll just focus more on the dog stuff and not, and when things die down a little bit, I'll go back outside. Have you basically do DoorDash for the content. So you didn't change your behavior with DoorDash because of Para not working or not?
Yeah, no, it didn't really matter. I was going to do like 1 or 2 orders every day, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would say I was full-time DoorDash when the quarantine all started, but basically I think last year, about a year ago or so, I got the unemployment check that was like $10,000, and that was like as soon as my whole like stunt show that I had spent like tens thousands of dollars on, it all got canceled at one time. So I got unemployment because of that. And I took like 8,000 of that and I put it into the footwear company and bought those shoes that you see behind me. And then I saved up like 2,000, and then I was getting about $600 a week. And that was when I was like, okay, now I'm going to go full time on YouTube, because before that, YouTube was always like, it was either my podcast or extreme sports vlogs or
Right.
DoorDash tutorials every once in a while. But then I was like, okay, what am I making the most amount of money on? And it was DoorDash tutorials. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go full time on DoorDash. And it was actually my ex-fiance's idea to do a DoorDash vlog. And that was when I started the Daily Dash. And to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure I was like the first person that was like really documenting their like dashes, like all the way down to the T and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I don't think the only, and
This is about 2
I've
years.
I've realized too with YouTube and some of the people who grow the fastest, it seems like, which is when you look up online about how to do, how to get a great YouTube channel or a successful one, they don't really say post every day. But the ones I've seen that grown the fastest, like Pedro posts every day, you post every day. DoorDash Dad, he used to post every day, but he still every once in a while. And then I think more finance. Like I've seen that just you put as much it has to be content people want to watch, but going daily seems like it's resonating with at least our group, the group that we have together. So it's props to you guys. I don't know how could you try to do every day, but it definitely seems like it's working.
Yeah, if you make your content as simple as possible, then you can do every day. And so I do every day, but I delete all the videos that do bad, actually, because
really?
I don't want YouTube to recommend videos that did really poorly to other people. So I want my content to be daily for the people who will watch my content no matter what. And those are like your actual fans who they just resonate with your message that you're putting out there.
Yeah.
But when those like after like 5 days, like Chad was mad at me because I deleted the Chad's charity challenge video where I toured my car and stuff, and it got like 200 views, and I have never seen 200 views in a really long time. So I was like, sorry, I'm deleting this one. And he was mad at me for deleting that one, but I was like, dude, this is just what I do. I put out daily content, but anything that is bad content, I delete it later. And it's more like I'm putting the content out there for the people who really love watching my channel and will click on anything no matter what. But later I go through and I delete that because those are the videos that YouTube is showing to people. And if they're showing people your crappy content, then you don't want YouTube showing people your crappy content that no one clicks on, because YouTube chooses one video from your channel to show to someone. If they don't want to see that video, then they're not going to click on it.
And you give it 5 days before you decide. You look at the views and like it's not working out.
I give it 2 weeks actually.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, and it's funny. I've made I made videos about Rover and it just bombed. It's just like no one's interested because again, majority of people are here for others, DoorDash or Para or me complaining or talking about Uncle Ben or something like that. Like they came for that. They didn't come for taking care of a dog. So I realized like it's a very humbling thing. Like you look at your numbers and like, people are not interested. So don't talk about that anymore. Talk about Para, because seeing Para seems like it did, that was like the one view maker right there.
Dude, I gotta show you my analytics, because when I was talking about Para, dude, it like I was the first person to talk about Para, and it
openly, with no shame, like no.
I know, because I was like, I don't care if DoorDash, if DoorDash fires me, I really don't care. I don't even DoorDash anyways, really. So like, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do this app that's like, I don't know, like my whole thing was like, I hate how DoorDash is being sneaky and like hiding these tips from people. So if I could do something that slap DoorDash in the face, hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. So like, if we go back to like dude, I don't know if you can see this, but look at that giant spike. That is,
I see the spike. That's all Para content.
All Para. That as soon as Para went down, because it was so like people were just waiting for me to like say something like, Para started deactivating people, and I would fuck with people, I'd be like, we got a deactivation on like the title and stuff, but it was like, sorry guys, no one's got deactivated yet. And like,
yeah, definitely. It was the most, because the idea that we even having this discussion that they're hiding the payouts is just, it's still hard to kind of like, this is what we're doing. Then you have to, find another program to try to get it to work. And I think once it went down, I know it was a few YouTubers that just said, I'm done. Like, and I don't think they have done DoorDash since, even though there's evidence that Uber Eats hides them too. Like they all do one thing or another to be sneaky. Like Grubhub don't tell you the mileage. So you have, unless you're good with your area, you don't know how far that it is. And then most times the Grubhub orders are not even done. So you there waiting for the order is not ready. And then you got, most likely Grubhub, they're gonna make you travel. Like if this is a good payout, you're gonna go across town. So there's no way you can get 3 orders in an hour. It's just not happening with Grubhub. So they all do it. And I think a lot of us, and going back to what I was saying earlier, I think a lot, I'm kind of getting it now, like activism is a waste of time. And I know like people like, DoorDash dad, he's like, let's fight the good fight, and Pedro, let's fight the good fight. And like, I'm thinking, yeah, how about we just make some money? And if it's not working, let's go do something else, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not really worth it if you're an independent contractor. It doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do what they want to do, and either they'll fail like Postmates or they'll do well. They're definitely taking when they lower our pay, they're taking in consideration like how many people are actually gonna lose. And for them, it's like they lowered our pay around the same time where everything opened up, because they know that we went from this unique time in history where everyone was ordering from home, and there was an insane amount of dashers that were needed for this time. But all of a sudden, everything opens up and they're like, oh shit, we're going to get a lot less orders. It wasn't an accident that around the same exact month where everything opened back up and all these restaurants were suddenly full 100% capacity, they took our pay from $3 to $2.25. It wasn't an accident. They knew, they were like, okay, some of these people, like, we're going to lose 30% of our orders no matter what, because people want to go back to restaurants. So if we are losing 30% of our orders, let's just decrease our pay by 30% or so.
Yeah.
And we're going to lose 30% of the dashers or less. So many people are already committed to dashing for us. They're going to keep doing it no matter what.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct. I think, definitely a calculated decision. And that just leaves us to figure out, how to survive, or like I said, not just depending on one app for everything. But it's interesting, like when you post, going back to just YouTube views, like you post something that's saying, hey, there's a top 10 ways you can make money, or, stuff like that.
Thanks.
Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, but DoorDash did.
I actually write on my notepad for that video. I'm like literally like going off of something I planned for like 2 hours. I was like, set up my whiteboard and stuff and like did this, and I'm like, dude, if I post DoorDash is about to end and I just like ramble and I'm just driving to the gym, that video will do so much better than a video I actually put in like time and effort and teaching people stuff. So I'm like, whatever, I'll throw in these like informational videos every once in a while, but otherwise I'll just clickbait people and have them click on videos, and then I give them information,
Yeah. I appreciate your transparency.
I tell people, I'm like, I'm gonna clickbait you because this is what I do, and if you don't click on the video, I don't get to talk to you guys. And the whole point of my channel is giving out free information to you guys. Like I feel like I'm the Paul Revere, like telling you guys, hey, you shouldn't like put all your eggs in this basket, because a basket that is slowly going downhill isn't a good one to put your eggs into,
Yeah.
Like if you saw a stock and it was consistently going down and down and down, would you buy into it?
No,
probably not, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but do you feel like you have to deal with the algorithm of YouTube to do that instead of doing something that you'd want to talk about? Like it's the same thing. I feel like the same thing with the apps. Like we're all victim of this algorithm that we don't necessarily understand. Like YouTube is a little bit more open with what they want you. Hey, if it basically saying this topic that you're talking about is interesting and people click about it. All right, when you talk about something else, we're not going to promote that video. So keep this one thing, which kind of, it kind of boxes you in, but then like you have to be really creative to try to, put content in ways to get people to watch, even if it's not necessarily about DoorDash specifically. But I just feel like once there's one thing that's doing well, it's hard to move to something else in YouTube.
Yeah, it is. I just feel like if I could just put out, like, I'm legit listening to audiobooks 24/7, and I base a lot of my videos around like the theme of them and what I'm going to talk about in the video around those lessons that I learned in those audiobooks. So if I can just parlay as much information to my audience and see them grow, because dude, I see so many people, like even Pedro started from watching my YouTube channel. You know, a lot of people start from watching my YouTube channel. If I could just give out as much free information as possible to the audience, they're at least going to click in my videos, no matter what the title says and stuff. And those are the people that I want. Like, I don't care about the people who come here for the para drama, you know. I'm going to continue to move on to different things, you know. Like my channel is based on you're watching me as a person who's going through the like career of an entrepreneur. And you're going to see me advancing. Like I've gone from full-time Dasher in the last year to like I barely DoorDash to in a year, I might not even like do any door dashing at all. And like, I'm always going to be honest with everyone. And can you hear that? Or is it just me?
Yeah, you can hear it.
Like a party going on outside.
Yeah, like a party going on. Someone's either sneezed or yelled or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I just feel like as long as I'm like honest with everyone, it's not like I'm really hiding anything. I'm telling people like, hey, I'm going to make all these crazy faces for the thumbnails and like put crazy captions and stuff. And then you're really going to get the like, these are the, dude, they for sure have COVID for sure. Get that coronavirus out of here.
No, man. Well, they probably vaccinated. So no, nothing happened. There's no cases, no breakthrough cases of COVID with the vax. It's crazy, man.
I don't know, dude. I might have COVID right now.
I got yeah, well, you know, you'll be fine. You're an athlete. How many like real deal athletes have seriously had any issues with it? I don't
know, dude. I feel like, okay, I have a very unique group of friends. Everyone I hang out with is either a Cirque du Soleil acrobat or a UFC fighter.
So and athletes, pure athletes, they work out all the time.
Most savage athletes on the planet. And no one I know has even been remotely sick from it. I know a lot of people, like I've had it for sure one time, I think twice. I think I had it pretty recently. And like, it bounced off of me because everyone I know is taking like actual multivitamins and the best supplements you can possibly take. And I think it's a supplement imbalance. I think that's what really affects people is when they're low in certain vitamins. That's when it's going to really affect you. Like if you're low in vitamin D, they've already shown that people who are lower in vitamin D are going to have a much worse adverse effect to the coronavirus rather than someone who's already balanced and has like good genetics and probably physically fit, you know.
We're just not healthy as a country. We're just not healthy people. Like
like 70. I just made a video, which is, I don't know if I want to put it out, but I said 78% of people in the ICU are obese. So
yeah,
it should be a sign to people. Hey, 78% of people that are in there, 4 out of 5 people that are in the ICU are obese. Yeah. So maybe if you're not obese, you probably won't have too much of a problem. I can almost bet that other 20% of people they just don't take multivitamins or something like that. You know, I know so many people who are really skinny, but they're in such bad shape, you know?
Yeah, it's just, the idea of your weight. I mean, it does affect, but yeah, we're just not taking care of ourselves. I was talking about that before. Like we as, you know, DoorDash, you know, Dashers, we deliver like the worst possible food to people every day. Some of us doing it, you know, 8 hours a day, just delivering the crappiest, most processed. I mean, what was it? Was it Taco? No, Subway. Tuna is not real tuna. They can't identify the species. We're giving that to people, dude. And it's like why we're getting sick and why we're, you know, having all these issues. It's like it's in the food, probably. I mean, dude. I don't know. I stopped eating less. I've eaten less fast food since dashing. I don't know why. I like made a decision. I was like, I see it all the time, and then I see the people I deliver it to, and I'm not gonna. You're like, yeah, I'm probably should just cook at home or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I feel it. I think I probably eat more, to be honest.
Because you lived in a hotel for a minute, right? Like you were performing and stuff like that. So you didn't have like your own kitchen, I'm assuming.
I was eating cafeteria food every day for the last 3 months, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was also cooking elk meat in my freaking hotel room every day. So
Is how elk tastes? Is it like a
dude,
like
it's
a
like
beefy?
it's like a steak that's like 5 times better. The texture of elk meat, the way it makes you feel, everything about it is like 5 times better than steak. Like I've done like carnivore diets like probably like 5 times in my life, but when you eat elk meat, it's like, dude, you feel like you have superpowers. No joke.
Also, Rogan is onto something because like every
But it's so
day
expensive.
Yeah, expensive.
$25 a pound. You have to buy like 4 pounds at a time.
How much pork can get for how much pork can get for that much money?
Dude,
pork is disgusting.
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, let's look through these comment sections real quick. Male Crusher, killing it. Just get the vaccine. Do I probably have to get the vaccine for the Six Flags show that I'm doing in Florida?
Yeah, really for traveling, right?
It was literally the day that I posted about like I don't want to get the vaccine. Now I'm probably gonna have to get it, but I don't care too much. I just would prefer it to be FDA approved before I take it.
I would assume so too. That video where you talk about it, your videos don't get limited monetization. They don't flag you for anything. Just because I heard even just talking about it. Because when I did that little live stream, there was limited. Like there was like, some advertiser's not going to want to talk about this or show this or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I was going to get demonetized for it, and I didn't. Okay. So, but you know what was really weird was my own comments were disappearing. When I would comment, I would state statistics about certain things like how many people have died from taking the COVID vaccine and all that stuff. My own comments were getting deleted off my own.
Definitely someone is probably checking it.
There's something going on there, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to talk about that stuff because I'm not an immunologist or whatever gig life guy is.
And some people get really, really upset too. Like if you don't, like you're just spreading it misinformation. It's like, all right, how about the idea of just questioning, just having a question? Like why? Yeah. If I can't question something, like am I stupid? Is it an idea that I should question something before I decided to do it? So it's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird. And what's happening here in New York, man?
Dude, I try to avoid California at all costs.
Yes.
Like when we were in Reno and we would drive to Tahoe every week, my friends were like, why do you always take the long route? And I'm like, because we don't have to drive through California. Let's stay out of that place. Those people are crazy.
Yeah, that's why everyone's leaving. Everyone's going to, Texas. Everyone's going to go to Florida, Tennessee.
No, I'm trying to move to Florida.
Yeah. Everybody's going to Florida. Where are you originally from?
Los Angeles. I moved out of that crazy place.
I don't want to go back.
I was like, wait a second, this is how much money I'm spending on taxes? What am I doing here?
Oh, yeah, Florida for your business too, right?
Yeah.
You moved the whole thing
over. The 3 most popular states for business owners, Nevada, Texas, Florida. Nevada is going to be checked off pretty soon because I think so many people are coming from California. So yeah, it's Florida or Texas. And I think Texas, there's going to be too many people that moved to Austin and screw it up for everyone. I think Florida's the spot.
Yeah, Florida people, they're going to keep it. I mean, it's still a purple state, but they know, they like what's happening in terms of they were still able to do what they have to do with their businesses and their school and stuff like that. So I know I got to move. I don't know that. Problem is my business taking care of dogs is very local. Like I can't, the people who know me, depend on me. Once I move, I basically start from, scratch. So like the only thing for me to move is if this YouTube thing becomes more and I have another income level, you know what I mean? Like something else on the side. Yeah, I think then I'll be comfortable. Yeah.
So if anyone's watching, go subscribe to Hannibal is Hungry on YouTube. Go check him out. Hannibal is the most popular person that I watch out of all the gig tubers. It's Hannibal, Pedro, and UDM. Those are the only 3 that I actually watch.
Appreciate it, man.
So I had some questions I actually wrote down for you because
cool.
But this interview got so off topic. I need to start with you on. I started with Pedro. All right. So what's your background before you started doing gig tubing stuff?
Okay, so I would just my 20s with me just messing around, man, like not taking stuff seriously. When I look at it right now, not taking stuff seriously. Like I went to college, didn't finish, but then I had to start to work at it, get a job. I realized I had no social skills. I didn't like people. So like, well, what kind of job I should get? All right, I'll work with dogs. I look with animals. So I started like applying to animal fucking stores like Pet Land or Petco, whatever you call it. I didn't get any of those. My first job was a no kill shelter in Queens. I did that for a while. I got fired from that. I guess I wasn't cleaning things properly. I don't know. Probably wasn't that good at the job either. But then I moved on to a dog boarding facility in Manhattan. Then I went to another dog boarding facility in Brooklyn. I was there almost 10 years. I started to do Rover, the gig app, towards the end of that, and I realized I enjoy doing Rover way more than actually working this job, being told what to do. When you go to your page, you see all of your all the comments of people like your work. You feel more in charge of everything. So when the pandemic happened, that basically me leaving my last job was like a divorce. I wasn't invested as much as I didn't like the owner. The owner didn't like me. It was kind of, we just broke up, so it wasn't that big a deal. But then I need a job, so I went to Uber Eats because they hire anybody. As soon as you start with Uber Eats, you just get on. So I remember the first day I got on. It was in July 2020. It was everything's closed up, whatever. And I put all of my information. A couple days later, I got on. But it's funny. I was looking at my phone. It was like 12:30 at night, and then Uber said, "Oh, you're on. You can dash right now. Dash. You can go pick up orders right now." I'm like, really? 12:30 at night. I immediately press on. Because I'm so bored. I was like, I'm in this house. I gotta do something. So I was outside on the street delivering orders at 1:00 in the morning. New York City, Brooklyn, nothing closes. So I'm just giving people, crappy Chinese food, McDonald's, and I had no idea what I was doing. Probably making shit money until I started going on YouTube and started watching you guys, started to understand how things worked. And doing videos again, I was just kind of bored, and I had a camera, and I was like, let me just talk about my experiences doing Uber Eats, and it kind of just grew from there.
Nice. So that was my next question, was how you got into YouTube. But it seems like you have like such a good production, which is why I started watching your channel. Like I watch you and UDM because it seems like you guys have a good production going on,
I take a lot. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to make a video, like how to make the video, and I started to make money. Like I bought a camera off of all the stuff I bought sold on eBay. So I took a bunch of old consoles and it's just crap that I wasn't using, but I knew it was still value, and I just kept selling a bunch of that crap. My wife was annoyed, but I was like, we don't want this. You don't need any of this stuff. And I bought my camera. And then every little bit I just started buying more and more pieces of stuff and just started putting it together. And I love it. I do love making videos, and that's the one thing that I do think about in terms of doing a lot of gig work. I don't want to do 10 hours of dashing because that takes me away from doing what I actually like to do. So I want to do it just enough to get me going.
Yeah. Someone is asking, how many times have you been bit working on Rover?
I've probably been bit in my life maybe 2-3 times, and maybe once on Rover, and it was all my fault. Usually
it's kick the dog in the face.
No. No, I will move a dog with my leg, if that makes sense. Does that make
Dude, I punted this little chihuahua one time.
Oh, come on, right.
When I was dropping off a pizza, and like out of nowhere, it's like just runs under this fence and just sprints after me. That's when I first started doing Postmates, and I just punted this thing.
Did you know what it was? Like when it was running to you didn't know what kind of, like, it could have been.
No, it tried to bite me. It like bit my leg, and then like I swung it off to the side, and it jumped at me again, and I just kicked it in the face.
It was all right. It ran away.
Oh yeah, it ran away as soon as I kicked it, for sure. I was like almost in my car, and I was like, "What the fuck is this thing about to attack me?"
Yeah, I've never been a.
We got Chad in here. He probably wants to talk about some ketchup and mustard.
We had a long conversation last week about feet. I forgot the reason why we were talking about feet, but it just went down the rabbit hole of.
You guys got the foot fetishes or what?
Chad keeps saying he doesn't, but
Chad's probably got a foot
do you
fetish.
should all right. The question was, should you deliver food with open toe shoes? Like, should you deliver food with sandals and stuff like that? So it went down and it went from feet talk.
I'm
Team
just,
mustard.
I'm just gonna avoid that conversation. We're gonna
Fair
skip that one.
Fair enough.
Team mustard. That's what he says. Let's see. Who do you watch outside of gig tubers? Was my next question.
So I watch. It's gonna be a lot of political talk, but I watch Tim Pool. I watch Shapiro. I watch Matt Walsh. Breaking Points. Man, that's all.
Those are all the channels that I watch. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I watch a little bit of that.
High five.
So and Chad was putting me on some libertarian stuff. I forgot the one that he had told me, but yeah, I try. But that's a problem too when you watch too much of that shit and you get annoyed by things. So I try to watch some gaming stuff. My son, he's 7. He watches like the most crappiest crap. I have to sit there and watch
I mix
that.
in like UFC content to keep my sanity, because if I know too much about what is going on around the world, I'll just lose my shit.
Yeah,
and I'll start telling my roommates and stuff, and they're like, "What? This is going on? Like, I don't care." Like, they're like, "Yeah, you're right. I should just focus on myself." Kind of thing.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, if you were to pick one gig tuber that you had to hang out with, who would it be?
But yo, is Chad still in here? Chad, of course,
Chad,
my buddy. But I would definitely. I mean, me and Chad have a lot in common. But Pedro, man, like we sat there and talked for 2 hours. It didn't even make any sense. We started talking about our family. They started talking about all types of stuff. And he's into sports. And Chad, are you into? I'll talk to him later. Doing about basketball, and I love football, I love basketball. Like UFC, I was really in it early on. I gotta get back into it. Like I'll order the big pay-per-views. Like I'd pick, waste my money on that McGregor snapping his leg like a twig, but $70 down the drain. But yeah, sports.
Was it though? Was it though? It was worth it, I think. I paid $70. I paid $70 yesterday. I pay $70 every month. I love that shit.
Yeah, man. Derek, like, yeah, that dude. I thought he was gonna be. I thought he just got crumpled.
No, I knew he had no chance.
Yeah. Oh, you more. I see you do a little training. You definitely more.
My business partner is a famous UFC fighter, so I'm like really in it.
You're like in it, like yeah. I remember
has his own like signature shoe in my like footwear company, and he's like a top 5 lightweight in the UFC.
A beast, man. He's a beast.
Yeah. But okay, next thing. I already answered or we already talked about everything. Yeah, so let's see. Would you go on DoorDash strike? Would you go to the DoorDash strike I was organizing?
Yeah, because it gotta be an event. It gotta be something weird about that. I wouldn't mind going. I mean, I know nothing would happen or change.
I know nothing would happen.
Just for like you said in Pedro, we were talking about like I want to film it. Like, yeah, I want to film it. We'll do something extravagant. I don't know. We'll dress up as something. You can make it. Make it into an event. Make it. Crazy. I'll definitely be interested. Like, But just talking to you guys and talking to UDM, and I realized like, yeah, nothing's gonna necessarily change for the better. And should a lot of dashers out there should just move on and leave it, because again, it's the first entry level of business, right? And if you already have this level of struggle, being an entrepreneur, like, I worked for a small business for almost 10 years. It's extremely stressful. Like I saw the toll on the owner of the business when things went wrong, when they the permits weren't right, or insurances, or something happened with the company vehicle, or just employees, how annoying they are, and people had to fire and they threatened to beat me up, and like all that for a business owner. Most people don't want to do that. They don't.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's really worth it to strike. I was just gonna do it because I feel like I have like an audience, and I feel like if anyone was gonna do it, like it should be me to like I'm the closest to San Francisco to like go and actually do something, but
Yeah.
no one was really interested in it, and I was like, all right, well,
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, right? Like you just put something out and it's like no one's biting. All right, we'll move on to something else.
yeah, no, we're not gonna do it. It is what it is.
Yeah,
But
boy.
hey, I'm gonna let you go because I know you've been live streaming for like the last 5 hours talking about ketchup and mustard and stuff, and I know our
Yeah,
conversation probably was not as entertaining as ketchup and mustard, but
you know, it was a different type of entertainment. But I appreciate it, man. You know, I'm always gonna check out your stuff, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
yeah, thanks. So for anyone listening, make sure you go check out Hannibal is Hungry on YouTube. Puts out my favorite content, the gig tubers. So go check him out.
Appreciate it, bro.
Let's do this again soon.
Definitely.
All right. Have a good night, dude.
All
Thanks
right,
everyone who watched the video and is in the chat.
have a good night.
All right. Peace.